This is Total Telecom TV. I'm Brian Dolby reporting from the Huawei Mobile Broadband event in London. I'm joined by Mark Kaplan, who's just chaired a panel on collaboration. Mark, welcome to the show here. Tell us about what were the main sort of talking points. You had some big names up there on that panel.
Yeah, we did. The panel consisted of LinkedIn, YouTube, Google Glass, Ogilvy, and BBC. And some of the really interesting findings were the day itself has been about collaboration with mobile broadband. And what we found and really uncovered were some of the key nuggets as to why there hasn't been closer collaboration. And a lot of it has been in really areas where particularly Huawei could help out. So first and foremost is the fact that big brands will find it very challenging to go country by country, carrier by carrier to execute anything in mobile marketing. And then from the big content companies, it's expanding accessibility. So if you think about YouTube, how are they going to grow? Well, they have to provide access to their content or really their service to people who currently don't have broadband access. So in that involvement, it really requires a tight-knit collaboration between them and carriers. So
this was probably the first time companies have sat down and had a discussion like that, particularly in public. I bet it was quite interesting what came out.
Yeah, it was interesting actually because, who was it? Glass particularly said, it was really interesting that the main topic that we all kind of started debating about was money. Which is really what it all comes down to, because affordability is the only thing that really limits accessibility, right? And if you look at what the infrastructure companies could do to help this out, they could actually make these investments and pre-install or pre-connect a lot of these services for their carriers to then simply offer it off to their consumers. The other ways that this can come about is if you look at the way television works, it's not really the brands paying the carriers for their content to distribute, it's the carriers paying the networks to offer their content to the subscribers. So it's a really interesting dynamic as to widely adopted models in television and models like mobile, which garner the smallest investment despite having the largest audience.
Tell us actually about you touched on this with your esteemed panel, but tell us about your company and where you fit into this.
Yeah, so White Label Partners is a new company. GSMA invested in us to market and monetize their standards and services. One API, which is intended on making it easier to get access to a global network of carriers. So it's that promise. And rich communications, so RCS, which really provides consumers with a carrier-grade messaging service. With a carrier-grade messaging service. So that's really what we're focused on. And the way we do that is we partner with carriers and their suppliers to create better consumer experiences. So White Label Partners approaches this from a consumer angle, and then we work with the suppliers to execute those our recommendations. And then what we do is we then commercialize that out to the brand and the content partner community and manage the ecosystem to deliver these to the consumers. One of the things that we're most excited about that we believe is really going to help the access here is allowing consumers to personalize their data plans, really choose what they want to have access to, and giving them the transparency so they can communicate with confidence that they're not going to have massive overages if they go watch a YouTube video on their phone, because at the end of the day, most consumers don't know how much mobile data they're consuming when they watch a video. Do you know how many megabytes per second you're using when you do that? No, nobody does.
No, it's pretty scary.
Yeah, it is.
Thinking about that and what you were saying there, what do you see as the trends going forward? What are the challenges in this space as you see it?
Wow. The challenges in the space is really going to be one of acceptance. It's a reality. The time has come where if you're a telco and you're looking at in the developed markets, Wi-Fi, why would brands and content partners and everybody invest in you when 80% of the traffic is going over Wi-Fi? Carriers need to accept and acknowledge the fact that they don't entirely hold the keys to the kingdom anymore. I'm a carrier advocate, and we work with them to help them recognize that You need to improve your quality of service while improving the way that you market it to the consumer. You can't make consumers confused about how they access their data, otherwise they just won't do it. They'll go to Wi-Fi, really.
Well, Mark, I shall worry about my next phone bill now, but in the meantime, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.